What is going on, guys? Coach Jason here, back with another video. And in this video, I'm actually, getting ready to go to bed. And I came across a study here, and I wanna share it with you guys because I think it's very interesting for us, especially as fit mothers, and wives, and those over 40, over 50. Now, let me kind of give you guys a breakdown of this study. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what was done. So, what they did, the goal of this study was to find the link between muscle mass, amount of muscle on the body, and risk for death, right? And at the conclusion, what they found is that persons with a higher level of muscle mass had lower mortality. Now, this didn't matter if the person had body fat, so they actually tested for all of this. So the person could, for example, there was two women, one has 30% body fat, and the other has like a 25% or 20% body fat. The 30% body fat has more muscle mass. The 20% has less muscle mass, even though she is slimmer. But in terms of mortality, the muscle mass was actually all different power. And so I found this to be really interesting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and bring my screen up here and kind of show you guys some of these results. So let me just, first of all, before I do it, let me read it. Let me read the key insights, right? So the first one was a key study done by Srikathan in 2014 in the American Journal of Medicine. And here was the conclusions. People with higher muscle mass had a less than 20% lower risk of death compared to those with low muscle mass. This was independent of body fat, diabetes, or heart risk factors. So even though the person had diabetes, a higher body fat, and heart risk factors, just the mere fact of packing on more muscle, they actually showed a decrease in death, right? That was one. Now, the second one is that one that was done. This was a meta-analysis, which means it took like a big study. So they look at multiple studies and kind of combine the results together. And this word, you're going to hear this word, is called sarcopenia. It means loss of muscle mass. So as you get older, you're naturally going to lose muscle mass, and that is called sarcopenia. So just keeping that out there. Now, what they found is that persons with sarcopenia, or who had a high level of sarcopenia or a high level of muscle mass, had a 2 times higher risk of death. In some populations, they had 3 to 4 times higher risk in death. And in extreme cases, 3.6 to 4.8 times higher risk in death. So if you want to just translate this, it means that the more muscle you lose as you age, it is actually going to increase your mortality, right? Now, the last one was a large study. This was done by NHANES, 50 plus adults. And what they found is that low muscle strength, now pay attention to this, equal to higher risk of death, even if the person was inactive, obese, or had different lifestyle things. Like, for example, if he was smoking. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and smoke, but I'm just going to show you what it shows. So, what we are seeing here is that you will see the word muscle mass and strength being used. If you want to just break it down, if I want to break it down for you, it simply means that as you get older, you should be focusing on getting stronger, which would inadvertently also be building your muscle mass. So, you want to be stronger each time you do your routines. When I say that, of course, with cycles. So, for example, every 6 weeks, you should be getting stronger. Okay, so this was it right here. I was talking about the blue line. Let me go back here. Right, this was the blue line. This was the normal persons. And then this was the one with the sarcopenia or muscle loss. And you can see difference in terms of longevity here. Now, how long were older people expected to live with or without sarcopenia? What the results showed here from this study in Frontiers is that persons with muscle mass loss or sarcopenia, those who had more muscle mass loss, live shorter than those who did not have as much muscle mass loss. And then this was the one here. Muscle wasting was significantly associated. So muscle waning means sarcopenia or losing muscle, with a higher mortality risk of all causes, COVID, cancer, respiratory disease in the general population. So even if the person had these diseases and they had muscle, they live longer than persons without the muscle. So the muscle seems to be the predominant factor in all of these. And then this one was the last one I cited, muscle mass as a predictor of longevity in older adults. So, like all of these 4 studies are showing one thing. The more muscle and strength you pack, the longer you will live, based on these studies. Okay, so now I can take back off that there. Let me just do that there quickly, right? And then bring back my normal screen, right? So what does that mean for us as fit mothers and wives? Now, it means that we have to incorporate a little bit more strength training in our routines. Now, when I say strength training, you're gonna let me bring some things very clear here for you. But in terms of strength training, let's do some simple tests. So let's take the bands, the FitMat bands. Let's say you're able to do 6 presses with the black band. In 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, you should be able to do 12 presses. The next 4 to 6 weeks, you should be able to do 15 or 6 with the next higher band. If you're using the dumbbells, you're gonna check your baseline. So you're gonna check your baseline strength as to where you feel, and then you should be increasing. So this is a lot of the things that you guys would also have to be tracking on your own, because of course you must know exactly what your max is and so forth, so that you can know that you are going up. Now in strength training workouts, the rest periods are extremely long. So at the minimum, you're resting for a minute. And what you would find, especially and in the future when we build a FitMat gym and you guys come and train, you would see the difference. The longer you rest, the stronger you'll become. So for example, let's say we were pushing 50 pounds on an overhead press. I rest for you for 45 seconds and I took a next client and rest them for 3 minutes. The next client would either be able to do the same amount of reps at the same weight or more, and you will be doing less at the same weight. I know most of us looking to get the body composition, which is awesome. But from seeing this study, I just want to change up a little bit. I just want us to, our marker should be, we are getting stronger. We are packing on more muscle. Once we get that, then we can start to carve off the fat. Because remember, according to the study, as that muscle mass was increasing or at a high number, the mortality was better. I hope I'm saying that right. They live longer, so to speak. So my goal is to help you guys to get stronger. Now, if you're getting stronger, you're obviously going to be building muscle, because muscle is what is responsible for your strength. The bigger your muscles, the stronger you'll become. So when we say we use strength, that will be an easier predicator or easier measurement for us than to use muscle mass. Otherwise, we'll have to come and measure muscle mass, and then we have to divide and see how much of that is fat. So that's difficult. Let's just do strength. We may have to do like an assessment for everybody and see what their numbers are, and then reassess every 6 weeks just to make sure that we're getting stronger. Anyway, forward to hearing back from you guys with this one. Again, we could open it up for discussion, and let's take it from there.